Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So my name's Dale. I'm from a non-profit organisation called My Great First Job. And today we're going to be talking about personal branding. So I'm just going to share my screen so that I can jump straight into the presentation with you. And let's make sure we're all okay here. Right, I'm just going to take one thing off my screen. There we go. Okay, so My Great First Job is a non-profit organisation helping young people navigate their way from education to employment. So most of our work is with young people who are in Key Stage 5, so sixth form or year 1, 2 at college. We do also do some work with people who are leaving university, and sometimes we work with younger people in year 10 and 11 as well. So our job is to make sure that young people have got the information that they need to be able to get to where they want to get to. So that's the work that we do. You can follow us on any of the social media sites. If at the end of this presentation you think you've got some value from it and you want to join us, then come and be part of our community. It'd be great to have you with us. So these are some of the sessions we're running as an organisation. So we cover things like degree apprenticeships, how to write a great first CV. Today, we're going to be covering, as you can see on the top right-hand corner there, how to develop your personal brand. We're back later in the week. We're going to be showing you how to smash your interview. We've got a session that we run on LinkedIn, cover letters. You can see the sort of work that we're doing there and how can we help young people get to where they want to be. That's the reason that we exist. And today, we're going to be talking about personal branding. Now, you guys will know, I know you will, you'll know Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. And Jeff Bezos said that personal brand is what people say about you when you leave the room. So what people say about you when you leave your room is your personal brand. Now, so in terms of what does that actually mean, you know, when this session is finished, my personal brand will stay with you. Somebody might ask you for some feedback, you know, what was it like? And was the style delivered okay? Did the guy know what he was talking about? Everything that determines whether you think that my personal brand is good is with you. I've gone, the session is finished. There's nothing I can do about it. But here's the thing, Jeff Bezos says personal brand is what people say about you when you leave the room, but you guys in most cases aren't in the room yet. So for me, personal branding is what can we do to help you get into that room? And by that room, I mean, it could be what can we do to get you into that interview room, whether that's for university or whether that's for a college course or whether that's for an apprenticeship or a degree apprenticeship. So how can we get you into that room? Now, it might also be not just at that final stage, it might be, I've got to get some work experience. How can I get into that work? How can I get somebody to take me seriously and give me an opportunity in work experience? Or it could be that you just want to have a chat with somebody. You know, I'm really interested in IT, but I'm not quite sure whether I want to do hardware or software. I'm interested in engineering, but I'm not sure whether to do electrical, nuclear, or mechanical. And so I just want to have a chat with somebody about it. And stuff that's on your CV is going to help people to encourage you to do it. So I want to get you into the room. That's what we're looking to do today. So there's a couple of things I want to show you before we go any further, because I don't know you guys. I can't even see you guys. And I've no idea how many of you there are. But I know that some of you might be thinking about doing apprenticeships. And so I'm going to start with this one here. This was from Jaguar Land Rover's degree apprenticeship program. This is their advert from a year or so ago. And it said to be eligible for a finance degree apprenticeship program, you will need to demonstrate a passion for finance and a strong motivation for the role. A passion for finance and a strong motivation for the role. Now, underneath that, it also says, oh, you'll also need to get our basic academic entry criteria, which is 3 A-levels at grade B or above. But I think what's significant here is that it's in bold and it's above. You will need to demonstrate a passion for finance and a strong motivation for the role. Now, how does somebody who is 16 or 17 demonstrate a passion for finance and a strong motivation for the role. You know, I'm really, really busy. I'm 16, 17. I'm doing my A-levels. I'm doing my BTECs. I've got my part-time job. I do my stuff. I play football, basketball. You know, my week is full of stuff. I'm trying to balance everything. And how am I going to demonstrate a passion for finance and a strong motivation for the role just so that Jaguar Land Rover will interview me? That's what we're going to cover today. Now, there may be some of you that are thinking, well, actually, I'm not sure this is going to be relevant to me because I'm thinking about going on to university, maybe even a different college course, maybe going on to do something like that. I want to just show you this here for a moment. So these are the boxes that were sent. I was helping a young lad who was going for an interview at Surrey University, and he was going to be a vet. Now, you needed 3 A's at A-level just to get in the room. And then they sent in this and they said, look, you know, these are the things that we're going to be concentrating on the interview day. And what we prepared him for is like everybody in the room's got 3 A's at A-level. You don't need to talk about that anymore because they're not special. They've got you in the room. Now, he was a lifeguard at a local pool. So he was like, well, look, I can cover off communication skills in the top left-hand corner. I can cover that, no problem. Do you know, I feel I can cover off honesty and integrity using different bits of my lifeguarding role. Advocacy. How do you advocate in, you know, how do you stand up for animal welfare? That isn't something you can suddenly come up with the night before. Oh, I did that. Oh, I do this and I do that. So it's about, you know, really living and breathing what you've said you're passionate about. I worked with a young lady a couple of years ago who said to me, when I asked her what she wanted to do, she said, I'm really, really passionate about homelessness. It really bothers me. And I really, really, really want to work with homeless people. And I was like, that's amazing. What an amazing thing to be passionate about at the age of 17, 18. So I said, and she said, yeah, I'm really passionate about it. I said, well, tell me what you've done about it so far. I wanted to know what her journey was. And she said, after a bit of thinking, she said, do you know what? I've shared a couple of stories on Instagram. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure that's going to cut it. When you're trying to get through to this job that you really want, to say, I've shared a couple of stories on Instagram. I don't think that really ties in with I'm really passionate about, but really easy to fix. And for me, this personal branding session is quick fixes. How can we quickly fix that if you haven't got anything on your CV or anything on your UCAS personal statement if you're applying for university? And so this young lady who wanted to do homelessness, we said, great, okay, well, look, let's get a poster up. Put a poster up in your sixth form to say that you're doing a food bank collection this week. And could anybody, and get your friends to bring stuff in, could anybody bring some stuff in? And then get in touch with your local homeless centre or your local food bank and say, look, we're having a collection at school this week. Could you come and collect it all on Friday? And in our assembly or in our sixth form centre, could you do a 5-10 minute talk about how you're going to use it and what some of the issues are that people are going through? And so then all she did was put a poster up and made a phone call. At the end of the week, they came in, we did a photo of, she did a photo of the people taking all their donations away. And they did a bit of a talk about how they were going to use it, etc., etc. Now, when somebody says to her, tell me what you've done about that so far, she's really able to say, oh, I organised a food bank collection within my school. You know, I put some posters up, I contacted the local homeless centre, they came and collected it. You know, everything navigated quickly. It's that having that one story that you can do to say, I'm really passionate about that. And so I love your passion for that. What have you done about that so far? I've always been passionate about engineering. Amazing. What have you done about that so far? I've always been passionate about physics. Oh, great. What have you done? That's the question we want to get answered. Now, you haven't got time to do a ton of stuff. You've got your qualifications to do. You've got your part-time jobs. Some of you are going to have. You've got your interests. You don't need another A-level or another BTEC level 3. What you need is some quick fixes. And I'm going to show you where they are on this session today. And I'm going to start with stuff you can do on your phone. Just stuff you don't even have to get out of bed, guys. On your phone, this is stuff that you can do. And I'm going to show you what other people are doing and how they're using social media for that personal branding. And I'm going to start with a young lad here who wants to be a sports journalist. He wants to work in sports media somehow. He's not entirely certain. He's in the sixth form. I ran this session, that exact session that I'm running for you, but I ran it as an open webinar. There was about 300 people on it. I've no idea who any of them are whatsoever. They've all signed up online and they've come along. The end of the session, I then got a message a couple of days later to say, I really enjoyed your session yesterday, and this is what I've done. I've set some stuff up on Instagram. And let me tell you why Instagram is amazing. Instagram is a great space for you to run a blog. So this is about setting up a second Instagram account. Some of you might already have one. It's about setting up a second Instagram account that's like a website, a personal website. You don't have to tell your friends, you don't have to tell anybody, because nobody's interested in the number of followers you've got unless it's a particular apprenticeship or whatever you're applying for that's around digital marketing, where they might be a bit more interested. So this lad wants to be, was working sports media. So he set up an Instagram page, called it Footy Analysis. And then he started to post every week the story that week from football, made himself a bit of a graphic up. And then underneath it, when you clicked on the graphic, you know, in all the text there, you guys know how it works. He'd written his post on there. So that was what he wanted to do. So now when he's applying for work experience, when he's applying for summer internships, when he's applying for apprenticeships and when he's applying to university, he's able to include his Instagram account in his application. Oh, you can check out the work I'm doing on here. And you're going to be able to see that straight away. Now, you don't have to tell anybody you're doing this. And in fact, I actually went to a school about 6-7 months ago, and this guy came and spoke to me afterwards, and he said, you're not going to know me, but I was on your session. I run this Instagram account called Footy Analysis. I said, I absolutely know it because you told me all about it. And his mate was stood next to him, his best mate, and said, is that you? And he said, yeah. He said, oh, I saw Footy Analysis followed me on Instagram like a couple of months ago, and I had no idea why. I had no idea it was you. So you don't have to tell anybody. You can keep this to yourself, but you can develop a network of people who are already in that space as well. You can link up with other people that are doing similar things. So Instagram is a great space for doing that. This young, let's talk about TikTok. So this young lad here he's on a mentoring program that I run for people looking to get onto degree apprenticeships. And right, we were doing his CV, and right at the end of our session and our time together, he said, Dale, do you think I should mention my TikTok account on my CV? And I was like, well, I don't know. Let's have a look at it. And he showed me it, and was like, as soon as I saw it, he wants to work with Lamborghinis. His TikTok account is full of Lamborghinis, and he's got 16,500 followers, 1.3 million likes. He posts probably twice a day. 100% that TikTok account is going on his CV, and it's not just going on his CV, it's going right at the top. It's going to be name, address, going to have his TikTok account in there, and then in that personal summary that goes up before qualifications, it's going to, you know, one of the things he's going to put in there is, you know, I run a TikTok account that's all about working with Lamborghinis and taking pictures of them, and the ones that I really like, you need to check it out. And that's going in there, and people will 100% check it out. Look, I know 16,500 followers is a sort of a decent amount of stuff, but I know it's not the biggest ever. But to an adult, 16,500 people checking out your content, enormous, an enormous amount. It's like a small football stadium of people are checking out your content. 1.3 million likes, wow! And it's all about the stuff that you want to do. So this guy answers, I know you're really passionate about, you know, working with Lamborghinis. Tell me what you've done about that so far. This guy's like, oh, hold this, you know, here is my TikTok account. Check this out. They're going to be bowled over. So another great example on social media. Let me show you this one. I was in a school, but probably a month ago, and running a session on how to write a great first CV. And I had the same conversation as I'd had with Harvey on the previous thing. But the lad said to me, you were in our school a year ago doing something on personal branding. Can I show you my Instagram account? This guy wants to be a mechanical engineer. And so he took the sort of work that we're doing here on the information. He set his own Instagram account up, got his own car, everything he does to his car, to his mate's car, anybody else's sisters, whenever he does stuff, he takes a picture of it, writes about what he's done, and it goes on his Instagram account. That is 100% going to get him through the door for any mechanical engineering apprenticeships that he applies for. Check out my my Instagram account. So social media is a great way, and just this one, I just want to show you something slightly opposite than all of that, but still really super effective. This young lad here wanted to go to university to do film studies, but he hadn't got the grades, and he hadn't got the grades by quite a long way. And he knew he hadn't got them, but he's also really socially anxious as well. So going for an interview or putting himself forward was going to be something that he was going to find really, really, really difficult. But he wants to go to university to do film studies. So he put together an Instagram account because he said to me in passing that whenever he watches a film, he writes a review of it. Now, if I go to the cinema and I come back and I talk to my kids or my wife about it, I might say, they say, what was the film? I'm just talking about whether I liked it, what was good, you know, what was the best bit, that sort of thing. And he didn't do that. He was writing about the lighting, the cinematography, the narrative arc, the character development. He was talking about it from a film student perspective. So he took all of those film reviews that he'd already written and put them onto Instagram and just put the stuff on there. So you click on there. I think the one on the right is the portrayal of girls in horror films, and then he's got some films there and he's written about it. He was able to put that in his UCAS personal statement. When he went for his university interview, because he didn't have the grades, they'd read every single one of them. They knew full well he was really into film. They knew full well that he was a good back for this course because they'd read everything. So Instagram, TikTok, showcase what you're doing if you love social media. But if you don't love social media, that one's not going to work for you, is it? Because you don't need another job. You just need something that's going to feel like easy to do. Let me show you some other things that young people have been doing that I've come across. So the one in the middle in Snapchat. So young lad wanted to do sports journalism, contacted his local professional football club and said, you know, in the nicest possible way, look, I don't think you know what you're doing with Snapchat. And they were like, we don't know what we're doing with Snapchat. We're 40 and 50 years old. He was like, can I come and help you? And he volunteered there for the whole of year 13, year 2 at college, if you like. But the whole of year 13, he volunteered at a professional football club. And he would go down, take a photo on his phone, obviously, take a photo, the players coming out the tunnel, the away team arriving. He was able to sit occasionally on the side of the pitch next to the photographer, develop a network of contacts there for him. Occasionally, I think twice he went on the coach to away matches. But when he wrote and he was he got free tickets to the match, so he loved it. You know, it didn't feel like a job to him, felt like amazing. And then when he wrote his UCAS personal statement and his work experience applications, he's able to put, I run the Snapchat account for a professional football club. Hey guys, the fact that it's a professional football club is amazing. It wouldn't matter if it was a semi-professional. It wouldn't matter if it was the school team. It's that you've done something. You've done it. I'm so interested in this. This is what I've done. It wouldn't matter if it's the team he played for on a Sunday morning. He's done something. On the right-hand side, young lad there wants to do physics. How am I going to demonstrate I'm really passionate about physics? Oh, what I'll do is I'll set up an Instagram account. And what he did was he put posters in the science rooms in his school, saying to the year 8 and 9 students, if you need any help with your homework, message me. Put some physics stuff on there. Again, how am I going to show I'm really passionate about it? Oh, I run a physics Instagram account to help everybody at school with their homework and to share physics issues. Left-hand bottom corner, girl wants to be work in media. Her and about 3 or 4 friends put together a podcast. Really, really easy, all done on their phone. They chose one event every week that was happening at school. Sort of if I was going into the school, they might say, hey Dale, what was the talk like about today? Then they might interview a couple of people who were in the talk. They put it together, uploaded it to Apple Music and Spotify. Fantastic. You know, now you can listen to the podcast that I do on Spotify. What an amazing thing to have on your personal statement or on your CV. And of course, it should never feel like anything other than fun. Because if you're not interested in journalism, not interested in football, not interested in physics, why would you be doing that? So it's got to feel like something you're in the space with. The girl on the top left-hand corner wants to be a teacher. So guess what? She's sharing GCSE A-level tips and resources. So guys, there's a bunch of different ways that young people are using social media in a really positive way to say, you know, we can use this as a space where we can either be much more in control about how people see us, because instead of worrying about whether people find my profile and adults saying to me, oh, be careful what you're putting on there, I can actually control what I put on, and then I can actually be proactive and say, hey, you want to check out my my Instagram account, my podcast, my TikTok account. So there's a whole bunch of ways that you can add value to yourself in things that I do. So I hope maybe if you like social media, you may have something in there that could work well for you. So that's the end of that social media bit. Let's move on to the next bit here, which is all about employer organizations. So what you might not have come across yet is that in every type of industry, there are a number of employer-led organizations that all the employers belong to. So let's just take that one on, the biggest one on the top left-hand corner there, the Institution of Mechanical Engineers. If I'm a mechanical engineering company, there's a pretty fair chance that I belong to the Institution of Mechanical Engineers. On the top right-hand corner, the British Association of Drama Therapists. I wanted to show you how niche it gets. So if I'm a drama therapist, I'm using the tools of drama to help people heal from trauma, then I'm probably going to be a member of the British Association of Drama Therapists. Now, why are these organizations of any interest to you whatsoever? Because you're not there yet. You know, you're not delivering those things. Well, first of all, let's just talk about their content. Most organizations, they're representing the industry. So that's their job. So the Institute of Mechanical Engineers is representing mechanical engineering to the wider world. And so they've normally got really, really great YouTube, social media channels. They're putting content out there that can be super interesting to you. Sometimes if you need content to share on your Instagram account, because you're like, oh, what am I doing this week? You can just share it off of their stuff and comment on it. So first of all, they're representing the industry. They normally look after a whole bunch of training. So you can go on their website and find information about apprenticeships in that industry. Now, there's a couple of really practical things that you can do as well. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how that worked. So I was working with a young lady who wanted to do drama therapy, which is how I came across the British Association of Drama Therapists. And she said, I really want to work with young people who've been through trauma. I want to use drama as a tool to be able to help them recover. But what I do need to do is have some conversations with people to find out how that works. It's going to be really difficult to get work experience in that area because people aren't, they're really difficult conversations. They're not going to want somebody just sat in the corner. So she contacted the British Association of Drama Therapists and said, hey, I want to be you. I want to be where you are. I'm at school at the moment. I want to work in drama therapy. This is the town that I live in. Can you recommend some local drama therapists that I can get in touch with? That's exactly what they did. And they didn't just recommend them. They said, well, look, we'll reach out to them and get them in touch with you. And she managed to have coffee with a couple of people who were doing the job she wanted to do. So helpful, so important. The bottom left-hand corner one, which is, I think is probably a bit more difficult to see around the edge of it. It says the British Association of Forensic Anthropology. So a young lad said to me, I wanted to do forensic anthropology. I wasn't even sure I knew what it was. And he said, look, fundamentally, the DNA testing, when they find bodies, when they find stuff in woods that's been there for years, he said, that's what I want to do. So you can sometimes join these organizations as a student, either free or dead cheap. And he joined the British Association of Forensic Anthropologists for £10. And he joined the night before he sent off his UCAS personal statement. When he went for his university interview, the first thing they said was, we've never come across anybody that's joined the organization before. Tell me about that. No, you can't just pay your £10 and then do nothing. You've got to look at their content and say, oh, I was on one of their webinars last week, or just navigate that question. What have you done? But really easy to do, because presumably if you're interested in forensic anthropology, anything they run is going to be of great interest to you. So you can often join these organizations either free as a student or really cheaply. Now, the Royal Geographical Society down there, they run A-level how to pass geography with an A grade events every single year. So let me show you what happened with the biology one. This is the Royal Society of Biology. It says BioNet. Thinking of about a future in life sciences, then join the BioNet. BioNet is for school and college students 14 to 19. It costs £5 a year. I helped an A-level student last year who didn't get the grades he wanted to get to go to university, was feeling really down about it. But a job came out at a major brewery firm, and he wanted to go for it in their lab. He joined the Royal Society of Biology for £5 a year, and then he can write on his CV, right at the top of his CV, I am a student member of the Royal Society of Biology. Guys, it's like having another A-level or BTEC, and all you've done is paid a fiver for it and just put it on your CV. Now, as I said earlier, you've got to then, they send out a newsletter, they run some events, they've got some content. You've got to engage with it a little bit so that you've got something to, oh, that's amazing, you've joined that. What have you done? You've got an answer to that question. But you might know that these organizations exist. So later on, when the session is finished, you'll be able to just search out national association, it won't matter what you put, national associations, national institutes, national organizations, employer organizations, and then whatever the career is that you're looking to do. And there's normally 2 or 3 different organizations. Jump into them, see if you can join any of them free, see if any of them are running local events. So for example, just recently there's been a big event in where I live around AAT accountancy. They've got a local branch, and they encouraged anybody that wanted to do an apprenticeship in it to go there, and then you could mix with other accountants and start to develop your network. So see what events they're running locally, see if you can join and get it on your CV so you can say I'm a student member of it and engage with their content. So they can be, those employer organizations can be really, really helpful to you in a number of different ways. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about online learning. Now, I don't want your heart to sink here, guys, because we all did a ton of online learning in COVID, and I know you've got A-levels, BTECs, GCSEs, you've got a whole ton of stuff that you're doing. Dale, I don't need another A-level, but bear with me because I want to show you some quick, free, that's the deal here, free, quick ways that you can get some great content onto your CV that is you can do really quickly and is going to look amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Open University. Open University, if you just search up Open University free courses, then this is the page that you'll get to after maybe one click. Sometimes it will take you straight here, maybe to one click. And you can see there, we've got courses in health, sports, education, history of the arts, languages, money, business, nature and environment, science and STEM stuff, society, politics and law. You click on, and then in that grey box just above the blue one where it says search free courses, you're just going to put some words in there around what you want to do. So for example, you might put in there accountancy or bookkeeping or media or nursing or environmental or anything at all. And it will bring up all the free courses on Open University. Now, there are 3 levels of courses on Open University: introductory, intermediate and advanced. You only want the introductory ones, and you're especially looking for the ones that are like 2 to 4 hours, something like that. There's even some on 1 hour, but 2 to 4 hours. And you can then click on the course, it tells you all about it. You can decide if that course gives you the content that you need. And then in a couple of Saturday mornings, over the Easter holiday, in a couple of mornings, you've now got a course completed that's relevant to what you want to do. And on your UCAS personal statement or on your CV / cover letter, it says, I've completed an Open University course in. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. There's one on there for certain I know on the basic fundamentals of bookkeeping. There's another one there on sports media on the portrayal of how female athletes are written about differently to male athletes. There's another one in there on nuclear engineering. So there's all different ones on there that are free, but here's the thing, guys, not only free, it's got to be quick. You don't need 25 hours worth of stuff here. You want 2 to 3 to 4 hours that you can really, really quickly do. Put in a bit of personal investment in yourself. 1 morning, 2 mornings, on my CV, on my personal statement, I've completed an Open University course in my own time. It's going to look phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal on there. A couple of other sort of free courses that can also work. If you're interested in digital media and that sort of stuff, then Google do some fantastic free courses. They've got a thing here called the Google Digital Garage, and you can just search up Google Digital Garage or Google free courses, and you're going to come up with, and one of the ones it's going to come up with is the fundamentals of digital marketing. Now, this one is a bit longer. I think it's about 20 odd modules, 24 modules, 26 modules down there, but they're all like really, really short, 2 to 3 minute videos. But if you want to find out about search engine optimization, about paid social advertising, and just everything about digital marketing, then can you imagine how amazing that, I've completed, I've done my A-levels, I've done my BTECs, here they are. I've also in my own time completed a Google course on the fundamentals of digital marketing. Of course you're going to get the interview. Of course you are. Of course you're going to get invited for the place on the course because you've shown that you're going to be the only person who applies who's done that course, because everybody else is just going in on their A-levels. So we've got fundamentals of digital marketing. I want to show you this as well. So most of the American big universities, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, that sort of thing, they run free courses as well. This particular one here, on the left-hand side there, CS50's Introduction to Game Development. So that course there is free. It's all about it says learn about the development of 2D and 3D interactive games in this hands-on course. As you explore the design of games such as is Angry Birds, the development of Angry Birds and Super Mario Brothers. So if you were really interested in gaming and you really wanted to have a career within that area, imagine the number of people that are going in and saying, I'm really interested in gaming. I play my Xbox all the while, my PlayStation, blah, 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 I do all this stuff. But imagine if you've now got written on your CV, I've completed Harvard University's CS51 Introduction to Game Development. And nobody's going to ask you how long it lasts. Nobody's going to ask you how much it costs. The very fact that it's on your CV and you can talk about it is going to be amazing. Now, with Harvard University and the American ones, they charge a fortune to get the certificate. All the other ones I've shown you are free. Harvard University charges a fortune to get the certificate. Guys, you don't need the certificate. And when I say a fortune, it's like hundreds of pounds. You don't need the certificate. You just need it on your CV, the personal branding to say, look, I know there's a lot of people want to do computer game development, but let me show you what I've done. You don't need the certificate. You just need to be able to say, I did some coding on a basic version of Angry Birds and I changed, and you've navigated that thing. So there's a whole range of different subject areas in there. I just put the home screen, the one that comes up in here. So that could be something that could really work for you. Now, here are three of the biggest free course providers. So I've showed you Open University free courses. I've showed you the Google stuff. There's a bunch of tech stuff on there. We've looked at the American universities. When you Google free courses, and what I'd like us to just take a moment to do now is grab your phone out. If you're able to do that, grab your phone out and let's just take 60 seconds to just put into your phone, or if you're on a laptop, on your laptop, free courses in, and then whatever it is that you're looking at doing. Free courses in, and then whatever it is. Let's just take now 60 seconds to do that. And when the answer, just do that through Google, and when the answer then when the search comes up, scroll past the sponsored links that come first of all until you get to the search link. So scroll past the sponsored links till you get to the search links. If you see any of these organizations, Coursera, Allison, or Udemy, you've got those logos there, check them out. But let's just all take a moment, and I'm going to do one here too. I'm gonna maybe put in I think I'm going to put in nuclear engineering and see what I can find. Let's all just do that for 60 seconds from now. Okay, well, look, I don't know how you guys have got on, but you know, I've put in nuclear engineering as free courses in a beginner level, and I've come up with on Future Learn the science of nuclear energy, which is on the Open University. The International Atomic Agency have got free online learning courses from beginner to expert level. And I can see a whole bunch of free courses that are on here just around nuclear engineering, nuclear technology, nuclear safety, safeguarding in nuclear. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. Hopefully you've been able to find some too. So with free courses, what you're looking for, one, you want it to be free. That's important. You want it to be free, but the next thing is you want it to be quick. Quick and interesting. But you know what? If you want to be a lawyer, if you're thinking I'm going to go to university to do law, or I want to get a degree apprenticeship doing law, and you find a free course in that's relevant to law, that's an introduction, and you think, oh God, I'm not doing that. You know, maybe it's not the right place for you because, you know, somebody who wants to do nuclear engineering isn't going to want to look at it. But if you're saying you want to do law, then presumably that means you're going to be interested in what it is in there. Now, if you can get one free course on your CV or UCAS personal statement, you get, how well do you answer that question about personal branding? I know you're really interested in law. What have you done about that so far? Oh, I did a free course with the Open University on the way law has affected this. Question navigated completely. Now, let's just talk about volunteering. I'm not sure where you guys are in a school or a college. But either way, I don't think it makes a ton of difference. Volunteering in your school or at your college is the easiest place to volunteer at. Because if you're going to do volunteering somewhere else, you've got to go home, get changed. And now there's a ton of reasons why that's going to be more difficult. You've got to get back out again. But you can just volunteer in your school or college. So some examples of things I've seen people doing. So people that want to do stuff around photography, videography, there's a ton of opportunities to be able to do stuff. There, you know, whether it's a school production, college production, whether it's just getting some photos of events that are taking place. So we've got a parents' evening coming up next week. Hey, miss, do you mind if I take some photos and get them onto the website? Could I do that of the event? Because everybody needs all those photos for their social media or their videos for it. We've got a school production coming up. I'll video the rehearsals and I'll do. So there's a ton of stuff you can do there. But if it's not on the creative side, it's also about maybe I'm free every Tuesday morning. I really want to do IT. I'm free every Tuesday morning between 10 and 11 because I don't have a lesson. Great. I'm gonna go down to the IT office and just say to them, what can I do? I'm going to say to them, can I come down every Tuesday morning for half a term, 5 or 6 weeks? That's all you need. 5 or 6 weeks. What can I do? And it may be that, oh, you know, you can upload some new passwords, you can wipe some software down, you can tidy those tables up, whatever. But it now means you've got some content. You know, I see you're really interested in IT. Yeah, I volunteer every week. I volunteer in the IT department, doing whatever I can to help. Really, it could also be that you can volunteer further down age group wise the college or school that you go to. So maybe helping students, business study students that are in year 9 or year 10 that need some additional support because you're free, or geography students or biology students. So volunteering at school can be a great way for you to be able to really demonstrate that you've got an interest in that particular topic. Now, I want to show you the next thing. So we've covered social media. So there's a bunch of ways you can use social media for your personal branding. There's a bunch of ways that you can use employer organizations. Now, if they don't work for you, there's some online learning. And if that doesn't work for you, there's some volunteering. And if none of those work for you, or in addition to all of those, check out these organizations. Guys, if you've got your phone with you, and I can't see any of you, so I don't know if you have, if you've got your phone with you, take it out and take a snapshot, take a screenshot of this page right now. I'm just going to have a quick sip of water while hopefully you do that. Because all of these organizations are running events to help you figure out how to get to where you want to get to and to get great content onto your CV. And whenever I go into schools, my experience is often the students might have heard of one of these. Occasionally, they might have heard of two, but never all of them. And, you know, rarely more than two. And it's often different ones. So let me tell you what these organizations do. So hopefully you've managed to get a picture of that. So Speakers for Schools. So I've just updated it this week with some of the events that Speakers for Schools are running in terms of work experience. So these guys are running Virgin Atlantic Skills for the Future. They're running a virtual insight day on aviation skills for the future. That's on the 12th of March, so that's next week. You've got a couple of NHS events there. South London and Maudsley NHS Foundation Trust are offering work experience. You've got hidden careers in construction at the bottom with a company called Waits. You've got Equifax, how to learn how Equifax build confident and capable financial consumers. So there's a whole ton. Honestly, there's so many opportunities on there. Now, with Speakers for Schools, it's free for schools to belong to. So if you find an event on there and you can't click on your school, then just speak to your school and say, hey, look, it's free. Can you join us? And then we can get access to all of their free stuff that's on there. So Speakers for Schools have got these events running over the next 2 to 3 to 4 weeks. Now, the next one, the one that was in the top, let me just skip back, Forage, F-O-R-G-E. You're going to find their social media on the website, theforage.com. And if you just Google Forage Work Experience, they've also got an Instagram page as well. And they've got a whole ton of different online work experiences. So you've got in here, I've just snapshotted engineering. So we've got globally responsible engineering for Engineers Without Borders in the UK, 5 to 6 hours online work experience. Coming through Wells Fargo in software engineering, we've got GE Aerospace exploring engineering. So you've got to pick your way through exact John Holland civil engineering. You've got to pick your way through exactly what type of engineering you want to do. The button at the top left-hand corner that currently says engineering, you can change to all different things. And what you've got here is world-class, world-renowned organizations running online work experience programs. It's like working from home. It's really well produced. They're then setting you tasks and you upload the task when you've done it. But, you know, Wells Fargo, 2 hours in software engineering, you know, one morning in the Easter holidays, you've now got, without even getting out of your bed or off your phone, you've now got on there, I've completed a software engineering work experience with Wells Fargo. So that's with Forage, however we want to say it. Here's some examples of what's on with Uptree. So let me just skip back to that. So there's Uptree in the middle on the right. Uptree. So here's some examples of what they've got coming up. Mishcon de Reya, really famous firm of solicitors in London this Thursday. They've got an apprenticeship open day. Ogilvy, really world famous advertising agency, Monday the 18th of March, work experience day. Arm in Cambridge, really top of the world leading organization in technology. So they're all running these events, but they don't know where to find you. So they're putting it on social media. But if you're not proactively looking for things on social media, if you're just scrolling through and seeing maybe the celebrity sort of stuff or the fun stuff, you're going to miss it. So it is perhaps about being intentional occasionally and just thinking, I really want to work in law, so I'm going to put law apprenticeships into the search thing and follow some organizations that are doing stuff on that, so I get this information. But yeah, Uptree, you can find them online and you can find them on social media as well. So I want to wrap up by one further thing that you can do, which is an informational interview. An informational interview is where you set yourself up to talk to somebody who is, let's say, for example, I don't know, I want to work in law, but I don't know any barristers, and I want to have a conversation with a barrister to find out what somebody starting their law career might do. It's not a job interview, an informational interview. And there's a young lad I was working with who had this email, and we put this email together for him. And I want to show you why it worked and why his personal branding worked. He wants to work in digital forensics. There's about 5 or 6 companies local to him only that he could go to for his work experience. So he says, I hope you're well and business is doing good in this unprecedented time. I'm doing my A-levels at such and such a school. And I'm also volunteering at school in IT support. First bit of personal branding. I'm really hoping to work in IT after my A-levels. I'm really interested in digital forensics. During the lockdown of 2021, I found and completed an open university course in, and he put the details in there. I wonder whether you might be able to have 15 to 20 minutes over the next couple of weeks to have a chat with me on or on Zoom about the work that you do. Because asking for work experience straight out can be a tough ask, but asking for a 15 to 20-minute chat is much less difficult. So the reason this email worked, and I'll show you the response he got, was because he didn't just say, I'm interested in IT and I'm doing my A-levels. He said, I'm interested in IT and I've done stuff about it. I volunteer at school in the support. I've done this course. Let me that company is going to put 15 to 20 minutes aside for him simply because they know he's serious about it. 20 minutes after he sent that email out, he messaged me and said, look what I've got back. Happy to have a brief chat on phone or Zoom, but if you're interested, then you're welcome to come over for a tour of our facility to see the data halls, as I think you're going to find this more interesting than a phone call, give you an insight into what the job is like, blah, 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 blah. And of course, at the end of the visit, when he went over there, which lasted not 15 to 20 minutes, but an hour, they said, do you want to come across in the summer and do some work experience here? We'd love to have you here. Now, that happened because his personal branding was strong. He wasn't just saying, I'm doing these A-levels and I'm interested in IT. I'm doing these A-levels and look what else I've done. Tiny, tiny little things. I go to the IT department, but it sounds quite big to everyone because nobody else is doing it. But he goes for 1 hour a week for 5 weeks. That's it. I did my open university course, 2 hours. That's it, but that's what got him into the room. Let me just show you this as well. A couple of weeks ago, you came into Spon School to do a careers assembly. I took your advice and emailed somebody to ask if they could have a Zoom chat about the work they do in the route they got to get. He wanted to do paleontology. He wanted to work with dinosaurs. Can you imagine how difficult it is to find stuff around paleobiology for your work experience? But he managed to get it because he asked them for 15 to 20 minutes rather than work experience. And then he spent the whole day, he went and had a chat with them. He had a Zoom call, and then he spent last summer working in Suffolk on a dinosaur dig out there. You are your own brand. Your school or your college, wherever you are watching this from, you know, they're not responsible for your brand. You're responsible for your brand. Now, they're responsible for you, working with you in partnership with your parents to make sure that they, you know, everybody gets a good experience with your A-levels, your BTEC level 3s, whatever qualifications you're doing. But you are responsible for everything else. So there are a bunch of things that you could do. And I think, you know, I talk about a digital footprint. You know, let's not concentrate on taking stuff off of our profiles. Let's concentrate on having some profiles that we're in control of, that we can then send stuff out on. My mantra is 60 minutes. If you're in year 13 and you're looking for something this year, then you're probably looking to do an hour a week. On right, what am I doing for my personal brand for an hour a week? If I'm in year 12 or year 11, you know, 1 hour a month put aside to just invest in myself. And by invest, I don't mean money, I mean time in myself to just add some value, whether that is, can I use social media to work for me? Can I join an employer's organization as a student and get involved in their content? Is there an online learning course that's free that I can quickly do to add some content on there? Can I volunteer somewhere to do that? Can I have a conversation with somebody who's already in the space I want to be at? Guys, I hope you've got some content today. I hope everybody's going to leave with one thing that they think, yeah, I could do that. That could make a real difference to me. If you've enjoyed the session and got something from it, then take a moment while you get your phones out to follow my great first job on Instagram, because we're sharing personal branding opportunities all the while, so you won't miss out on stuff, and we're signposting people to through our posts onto different organizations. I hope you found it helpful. Guys, I'm going to hand back